Hi everyone, Corey here from Tales from a Polk County Girl. Oh wow, my voice sounds weird. Hang on. Okay then. Alright, let's try that again. Hi everyone, Corey here from Tales from a Polk County Girl, and it's October 1st, which means we're going to look back on how I did on my September goals, and then my quarter 3 monthly targets, and then I'm going to flip to what I've lined up for quarter 4 and what I've got set up for October. So I went ahead and opened up my book so we can just see where I am right now. I did really good this month on everything except for editing a short story, but I'm going to come back and talk about that in a minute. I figured out there's a reason behind it. But I'm caught up on Break and Bake, which is awesome. For those of you just tuning in, when it says DIY Break and Bake, I make cookies every year as Christmas gifts, and I just make a batch of cookie dough every month and portion it out on a on a baking sheet and freeze it. So I got these little dough balls. And then after about 24 hours in the freezer, I pop them all off and put them in a Ziploc bag. And I've got Break and Bake throughout the year, and also to make enough cookies in December so that I can give everybody outside of the nuclear family a dozen cookies. And I had gotten behind in June and July. I just had so much going on that I didn't get them done. So August, I actually had it June, July, and August. Or maybe it was May. I remember at one point having like 4 months listed down, and oh wait, here it is. Haha. Yeah. This is where I had the 4 months listed. And I thought I was going to get caught up in August. I didn't. So I got August and September caught up, which is great. Bernat Purple Perk, that is the cotton yarn I've been knitting on. I got 4 made. I think I actually got 5 made. I just didn't count one. 5 made this month, which is great because it's October 1st. My first craft show is on the 20th. And I know I said I was going to, my goal, and I talk about this on my knitting podcast, which is linked below in the description box. You just need to scroll down to see it. Oh, I just bumped the chair, sorry. I try to do 100 dishcloths between January 1st and October 1st. Well, I can tell you, I didn't get 100 done. I got 90 done. And while realistically I could get 10 more done by the time my first craft show is on the 20th. If you guys have been following me for a while, I've talked about having repetitive stress injury and minor carpal tunnel. And when I said to my husband, I probably could get the 10 done, he's like, could you get it done without hurting your wrist? I said, I don't know. He's like, that's not good enough. You're not doing it then. Don't try. And on top of that, to be perfectly honest, I am kind of tired of making dishcloths, to be honest. I've been making them. I haven't been making them for 9 months straight. I took January off to finish off a much larger knitting project, which, again, jump over to my knitting podcast. It's called Knitting All the Blankets, because I love knitting blankets. And January, I spent finishing the pieces for a queen-size blanket for my brother. So I've actually done 90 cotton dishcloths in 8 months. Plus last month, I had a custom order for 2 kitchen towels that were 15 inches wide and 24 inches long. So, they weren't small things. So to me, that's pretty impressive that I got all that done. So I'm not going to beat myself up too much about it. If we jump down here to the purple again, you know, I also did Mistletoe Ombre / Yuletide. Those are Christmas colors in different brands, and they look similar enough to me that I mixed them together, and I got 8 of those done. I got my October Patreon story written and posted. I was running right up to running out of time this month, but I was struggling, but I got it done. Baking competition, a short story I'm writing. I got round 1 completely done, and I'm happy about that. Obsession Edit 4, I'm going to come back to that in a second. Goal setting booklet. Dated one listed and undated listed. If you guys have been following me for a while, I've talked about, you know, designing my own goal setting booklet, and I have. I will leave a link to it in my Etsy shop down in the description box, but it's essentially a booklet that I've put together that kind of walks you through my goal setting process and how I outline stuff for the year. It's fairly simple. I don't like overly complicated goal setting things. I've looked at them in various other planners and what some other YouTubers have done. And that's great if that works for them. It was a little too involved for me. I needed something a little more simplistic. And that's what my booklet is. You know, it's just an 8-page booklet. Like I said, description down below. And I am very proud of myself that of the 30, not 31, see I scratched it out. Of the 30 days in September, I did at least a half an hour of reading on 25 of those days. I am still not through the book that I'm reading, which is Michael Pollan's Cooked. I mean, if you've ever read any of Pollan's stuff, you know it's very dense and you gotta take in small bites, but yeah, I'm proud of that. So that was September. Oh, candle wicks. Missed that. Part of one of my homesteading projects was to take a bunch of leftover candles that we had been given, and I melted the wax down in a crock pot that I bought at a thrift store, and then I made homemade candles out of it. And we were having issues with the wicks. I made the majority of the candles back in June, and I had given them all single wicks. Well, a lot of these candles, the jars I'm using are like paste salsa jars, the Clausen's pickle jars, you know, big jars. And, you know, I didn't do my research on candle wicks because I knew what I was doing. I could just guess this. No, I couldn't. So what I ended up doing was I braided 3 strands of the very thin candle wick together, and my husband drilled down into the candles, and then we like fed the wick down in there, and then I just poured a little bit more wax in it to seal up the hole. And we've got one that we're using in the house right now as a test burn, and I'll tell you what, 3 wicks actually may be too big, at least for the paste salsa jars that we're using. But I can't get 2 wicks to stay twisted together. It just doesn't work. And so braiding them together did actually work. And yes, I know I could just buy bigger wicks, but I'm trying to use up what I got. You know, once I've run out of this wick, and it's wax dipped hemp that I'm using, once I've run out of that, I will consider getting bigger wicks next time. Okay. And let me tell you a story about my short story called Obsession. Obsession is a short story that I wrote over the past couple months earlier this year. And for me, it was a way of dealing with something that happened at work. And I'm honestly tired of the story. I got it back from my creative writing group and beta readers in June, July, before my trip to Italy. And I just don't really want to keep working on the story. I'm tired of the icky feelings that I get from it when I read the story and that inspired the story. So I'm just kind of done. One of my writer friends has said, well, you know, just shelve the story for right now. And while that's great advice and everything, I want to get it to a point. It's got a few more edits that need to be done. And then I think I could submit it somewhere. So I just need to bite the bullet and get the latest edits done. And the edits aren't a big deal. It's just I don't want to read this story again because I'm tired of feeling creeped out. So, all right, so that's that. And if we look at my 2018 quarter 3 monthly targets, you see my 4 catch-ups for Break and Bake, my monthly colors, cotton colors. I really should add Purple Perk to September right there. But I did a Hoy Ombre, which I did all through the trip to Italy. The custom order in August was actually using the same color. And then Yuletide and Purple Perk. I did not work on my gift cowl at all. I didn't. I was just trying to get, dishcloths done. Monthly Patreon story, written and posted. These are the dates that they get posted. So I did that. Got round 1 done for my baking competition short story, which I think by the time I'm done with this one's going to border on novella length because it's about 8,000 words right now. And 14 pages long, and it's not done. And then outline for Knitting on the Bayou, I needed to do character sketches, which I haven't done, and my 3-point chapters, which is how I like to outline my chapters. I started it in August. I think it's done, but, outlines always change. So actually, as far as I'm concerned, that one is done. So that was quarter 3. So let's flip to October. And actually, let me get quarter 4 out. Well, let's flip to quarter 4 right now. So this is what quarter 4 looks like. I just wrote this. If you guys are wondering, the paper that I use is just steno pad paper that I've trimmed slightly and punched on both sides. That way I can flip it around if I need to. This is also the type of note paper that I use between my weeks. Come here. There it is. Like that. Okay. So, no surprise, more Break and Bake. I got 3 more batches to do before Christmas, and then I'll spend a few days before Christmas just baking, which is fine because I can do stuff. It's a lot easier for me to do baking a few days before Christmas than to try to make a million batches of cookie dough and do the baking at the same time. Monthly Patreon stories, baking competition short story. I want to finish it, this quarter. At least I want it done by January 1st. That's my goal. Actually, to be honest, I want it done by NaNoWriMo because I don't know if I'm doing NaNoWriMo yet. I'll keep you posted. But I don't want to be fighting trying to finish this and writing a novella. Traveling Knitter series, that is, Will Knit to Travel is book 1. Knitting Down the Bayou or On the Bayou, haven't decided yet, is book 2. Do the character sketches, and then do the first 5 chapters. I should really write of Knitting on the Bayou right there. So if I do work on NaNoWriMo, it will be on that book. Finish my gift cowl pattern test. I think I'm going to just tear back some of the stuff I've done in it because I changed something in the pattern and I don't like it. And I think I just need to rip it back. For my mini skein 10 stitch blanket, again, all of my knitting stuff, if you'd like to follow that, hop over to my other channel, Knitting All the Blankets, and subscribe to that because I go into much more detail there and I actually show them off. I need to finish the set of minis that I'm working on. I've got 2 colors left. And then I want to get through at least one more set of minis before the new year. So, and then Frankie Brown 10 stitch corner to corner practice. This is a new 10 stitch pattern that well, it's not new, it's new to me. A knitting pattern that the designer Frankie Brown has in her collection, and I just want to learn how to do it, so I need to practice it. So that's what I've got set up for quarter 4. So what does my October look like? You guys know I like to color code, and this teal blue color is writing, so lots of writing. DIY break and bake. Is anybody surprised at this point? November Patreon story. Duh. That should say October, not November creative writing prompt, because we're meeting at the end of the month, so I need to change that. I had actually written Burnout Purple Perk before I decided to just stop the dishcloth, so I'm going to take that out. Baking competition, you know, get through round 2, write round 2. Mini skein 10 stitch blanket, finish off those last 2 minis of the current mini skein set I'm working on. Actually edit Obsession, because I just need to do it. I probably have 6 things to fix, people. That's how ridiculous this is. This stands for Can We Pause for a Moment? That is my shorthand for the, how did I label this? Travel memoir, creative nonfiction about my trip to Italy. With all the crap that happened on that trip, it was very cathartic to be able to write this. And I want to add 20 publishers to my Excel spreadsheet. Now, I do follow the author's published Facebook page, and every so often they will, you know, share a, this journal or this publisher is accepting submissions, and I'll just save the link and, you know, add it to favorites, and then I go through and I actually look at the publisher. Is this a publisher I want to be involved with, would like to submit to? What kind of stuff do they do? I have a whole Excel spreadsheet that keeps this stuff organized, and I need to add more publishers to it and try to work on my gift cowl pattern. I haven't even gotten through one full repeat of this yet. I'm not joking. I think the entire cowl pattern, it'll be 2 repeats for it to be done. I think. Not entirely sure. Again, that's why I'm testing the pattern. And of course, my reading log. October actually has 31 days, so I did this one correctly. So that's what I've got lined up for October. I know you guys who have followed me, you know I was really thrilled to get to the September, October, November pages because of the birch trees and the orange. I'm loving these pages. So that's what I've got lined up. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down below, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.